Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to today's training. Today we are going to be doing a volunteering with Ypsilanti Meals on Wheels overview. This training is designed to be about 15 to 20 minutes long, and you can complete it using your own pace. If you have any additional questions after this training is completed, feel free to email me at Rolanda, ROLANDA, at ymow.org. Today we are going to discuss COVID-19 basics, general recommendations, best practices and expectations, meal delivery and pickup protocol, while on route overview, end of route overview, frequent questions and scenarios. COVID-19 basics. What is it? A novel coronavirus caused by SARS-CoV-2 that has the potential to cause severe illness and pneumonia. How does it spread? Droplets typically exchange via close contact, anything less than 6 feet. Asymptomatic super spreaders. Symptoms typically include a fever, coughing, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath. Early symptoms can include loss of taste or smell. General COVID-19 recommendations. Practice social distancing, staying away from people when possible. Presume everyone, including yourself, is contagious or a carrier. Wash hands often with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water aren't available to you, use hand sanitizer containing at least a 70% alcohol base. Practice and maintain physical and social distancing at all times, a minimum of 6 feet. Go out only if you're feeling healthy. Although the virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person, avoid touching shared objects or surfaces. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands in community settings, and wear a mask in community settings. Best practices and expectations. Please remember you are delivering to an at-risk population. We must follow all safety guidelines to ensure client, staff, and you are safe. Keep in mind that clients are more vulnerable to COVID-19 exposure from you, the volunteer, than vice versa. These guidelines are to help reduce unintentional exposure. All volunteers must wear a clean mask during their entire volunteer shift. All volunteers need to complete a daily health screening survey at least 1 hour before their volunteer shift. All volunteers need to sanitize their hands before and after each meal delivery. Remember to practice safe food handling, keeping hands clean, hot bags and coolers shut to maintain temperatures, and maintaining a tidy vehicle. If you are feeling unwell for the day, please notify YMOW staff, be specific, and make sure you do not self-diagnose yourself with having COVID-19 unless that is the truth. Everyone feels under the weather sometimes. Stating you think you have COVID-19 and you don't can terminate your volunteer service with our organization. So let me elaborate on this in just a little bit. What we're saying here is we're coming into flu season this coming fall and winter. If you have a stomach bug, you have a headache, something of the sort, please do not just assume that you have the virus unless you have valid information to back that up. You were around someone who tested positive. You were in a community setting and you got word back, things like that. But if you have said that you think you have it and you say this to our staff, then we have to take procedures and protocols into place, and we will have to pause your service for the safety of everyone. We will require you cannot come back until you have testing results that show you are negative, and you will have to do the recommendation of the 14 days of quarantining before you can come back and be on our site. So it's really a serious matter to make sure that you are aware of what is your common cold versus this virus. And I know it can be a little bit tricky and confusing, but just to really evaluate before you assume that this is what you have, especially if you are really trying to get your hours done, making sure that, of course, you're taking care of yourself, that is top priority, but also knowing that once you say this, it's kind of hard to go back on it. Meal delivery and pickup protocol. Meal delivery volunteers will assist with delivering meals to 5 to 15 clients using their own transportation. This is called a mini route. If multiple people want to assist with delivering meals, everyone must be from the same household. Each morning before you arrive to Wymou, volunteers will need to complete the health screening survey. I have it linked here, but it will be sent directly to your emails. Meal pickup is now set up in a curbside to go type of model. All volunteers must wear a mask while picking up food items and while delivering meals. If available, volunteers should wear gloves. Using hand sanitizer on clean hands before and after each meal delivery is an alternative option. When you arrive to the site, please pull up to the green awning or within the area distance. Remember to practice 6 feet social distancing when loading your vehicle. If another volunteer is loading their vehicle, please be patient until it's your turn to safely load yours. All hot bags and cooler items will be labeled with the volunteer's name. Before leaving to complete your mini route, please make sure you review your route sheet, your tray counts, and brown bags to ensure you have everything you need before leaving. To kind of dig a little deeper into this, what we're saying is on your first day, myself or another staff member will show you what your mini route looks like. We'll show you what your route sheet looks like and where you're going. But once you kind of get into the flow of doing mini routes, you will grab your route sheet and you will have a list of clients. So say, for example, you have 6 clients you're delivering to for said day. Make sure you count your clients and those counts match with what you have in your hot bag and in your cooler. Most times everything is there and you're all set. Sometimes we have human error and you may be short on a hot tray or one of the brown bags. So we're asking before you leave that we can hopefully catch this, so then you're not on route and you realize, oh my goodness, I'm short XYZ. Keep an eye out for any additional items going out with meal delivery, for example, produce, Starbucks, pet food, personal care pantry items. These items will be beside your mini route or, within the cooler or the hot bag if available to do so. If not, it will just be, like I said, right beside it. So keeping an eye out for those items as well. Meal delivery. What does the food look like? So we are going to go through each picture in a little bit of detail here so you can understand what are clients getting for the day. This also connects with that route sheet that you will look at because it has what the client is receiving. So the first picture here to the left on the top left corner. All clients receive 2 hot meals. One hot will be in a hot bag and the other hot meal will be in a cooler. Both meals look the same. One is cold for later in the day. So you can see here that we have lasagna 2 times and green beans 2 times. One is already hot for the client to eat when they receive it from you. The other is what we call a par cooked. It is partially cooked. They'll warm it up and then it'll be all set for them later in the day. So that is typically what is in your cooler. And then the one, like I said, that is hot is in the hot bag. We're going to go down to the picture at the left bottom corner. All clients receive 2 chilled side trays. These are side items to complement the main meal up above. This is not a full meal, and it's also not on your route sheet. You'll see on your route sheet it says 2 hots, 2 colds. It does not mention 2 chilled side trays because it is a pair. The chilled trays complement the hots. So when you give 2 of those hots out, you're also going to give 2 of those chilled trays out because they need one to pair with each. You can see here that it's sides because it has the salad, it has a roll, it has some peaches in there, but it is not a full meal. We're going to move over to the top picture here on the right side. All clients will receive 6 items total, unless noted otherwise. 2 hot trays, 2 chilled trays, and 2 brown bags. So this is what it looks like. The brown bags are what are considered the cold meal. Clients will either have, like, say, chicken salad, tuna, things like that can be eaten cold and are ready to go in these brown bags, along with like their milks and any other condiment items that can go in the bags. Then you have your 2 chilled trays. They're getting 2 of those, as I mentioned, and then you have your hot meals. Down at the bottom right picture here, mini routes will usually be packed like this. 1 hot tray that is chilled for later in the day, 2 chilled trays, and 2 brown bags in this plastic bag, as you can see. If packed like this, you will only need to grab 1 hot tray out of the hot bag to complete the set. So, typically your mini route items will be packed like this. It will already be in the plastic bag ready for you, and they'll just have these in the cooler packaged this way. And then you'll also have your hot box that has the hot meals in it, and you'll just have to grab 1 out and put it in the bag, and you're set to deliver to a client. And you'll just continue to repeat that. The only time things may change a little bit if it's noted on your route sheet that they're getting something different. But other than that, you're following this same routine on the regular basis. And then we have a few clients who have more tailored options that they receive. This overall seems a little confusing at first. Normally what we have is people connect the colds to the chilled trays and get confused of what the brown bags are for. But hopefully this visual will help you understand what we're saying on those route sheets. And we're always here to answer any questions you may have. But the 2 hots are at the top left, and the 2 browns, which are the 2 colds, are at the top right. The chilled trays are just a complement to really both of the main meals. We are now going to go over the while on a route overview. Volunteers cannot enter the homes of clients under any circumstances. When you arrive to a client's home, you have 2 options on how to deliver the meals. I'm going to leave this available for you to read both option 1 and option 2. Please read both and then select which one you would prefer to do when delivering the meals. You have to decide on one in order to get the meals to the client. Clients must stay in their home when volunteers are delivering the meals to ensure we are practicing social distancing. If a client does not answer the phone, call the office to notify Weymouth staff. If a client does not answer the door, you can try giving them a call. If you still do not get the answer, call the office to notify Weymouth staff. So, you have the opportunity to call the clients. We provide you with their contact details on the route sheet. But if you are still unable to reach them, then please follow up with the office, and our office manager will get right back to you on next steps. After notifying Weymouth staff, please move on to the next home on your route sheet. We cannot leave meals unless the client is home. Repeat option 1 or 2 for all clients on your route sheet. If you have any extra meals for no-shows, you can ask the last few clients on your list if they are interested in having those meals, which typically they will accept them. If the last client on your list is a no-show, you will bring the food back to the office. End of route overview. Call the Y-Mile main office phone 734-487-9669 to notify staff that your route is completed upon arriving back to the church. Now, I'm going to say this is optional. You can call us after the end of your route if you have questions, concerns about one of the clients you delivered to, and it has a higher urgency for us to know right away. Please feel free to call us. Other than that, you can follow the steps listed below and you're all set for your mini route. But if you want to call us to let us know that you are back, you have completed your mini route, you are free to do so. Inform Y-Mile staff via phone if there are any leftover items that are being returned. This is also a time to ask any questions, feedback, things like that. As I mentioned, these are the steps that we really need to ensure that everyone follows, whether you did a call or you just dropped off the items. So place route sheets inside of an empty cooler or your hot box. Place coolers under the green awning attached to the church. You're going to drop off your coolers in the same location of where you picked them up to begin the volunteer shift. Staff will retrieve the coolers and bring them back into the building. We bring them back into the building because we sanitize and cleanse the hot boxes and coolers. And for some of the bags that are able to be washed, we wash them daily. So please just make sure you leave them outside and staff will bring them in for cleaning. After all these steps are completed, you are all set to leave for the day. I'm going to take this time to also do a little bit of frequent questions and scenarios that kind of come up during your first mini route. Sometimes you'll realize you're knocking on the door and a client is not at home. You did the phone call and it went to voicemail. Or sometimes you'll see that the client answers and they say, well, I'm about 10 to 15 minutes out. I had a doctor's appointment. Can you please wait? Unfortunately, we are not able to wait that long and we cannot leave the food. You can ask the client, well, do you have a neighbor or a friend that is really close by that you can drop the food off to? And when I say really close by, I mean someone across the street or, like 3 houses down. If they do, then you can drop it off to them and they will retrieve the food when they come back home. If they do not have that option, another alternative is, say you have 3 other clients to deliver to that's going to take you maybe anywhere in between that 10 to 15 minutes, then you can circle back to them at the end to see if they're home, if you're willing to do so. However, we cannot leave the food hanging, waiting at their door. So please make sure that you remember that we cannot do that, but that does sometimes happen. Volunteers also get very concerned when a client is just not answering at all. They've knocked, they've waited, they've called. They called to let the office know, but they're still concerned. Sometimes clients, like I said, are not home. Sometimes clients have went to the hospital and we aren't aware until the client can let us know or their emergency contact. You will have some neighbors that may just tell you if they see you trying to deliver to the client's home. Clients may be in a really deep sleep. Sometimes they just did not hear you and you thought you were really knocking loudly. That's why we ask you, please knock loudly and announce yourself when delivering the meals, because clients may have just not heard the door at all. Another thing is, if you see a doorbell, do not ring the doorbell. We find that most times the doorbell does not work, so please just give it a good effort to knock. Another thing could be, doesn't happen often. Most of our clients understand that we are keeping distance and practicing social distancing. Some clients may forget and they may ask for you to come in to bring the food. Please remember that we cannot do that, and to remind them of that If clients seem to get a little irritated with your response, you can let us know, and we can follow up with the client to just remind them of our protocols and procedures. Those are the most pending questions that happen when going out on your first mini route. Other than that, it's a really enjoyable experience, and I think all of you will have a good time completing mini routes, but not to be alarmed if any of these things happen on your first mini route, because it's something that is normal and it happens. If you have any additional questions, like I mentioned, you can call the office to contact me directly, or you can email me. Once again, my email is Rolanda, ROLANDA, @ymw.org. Thank you all so much for taking the time to complete this training. After completion of this training, I will send you the 2 forms that we need completed. I will do your background check, and I will schedule you for your first mini route service day. Thank you all. Bye-bye.